Elder Scrolls Oblivion looks like it could be getting the remake treatment as soon as next month, revealing next month, that is. The long anticipated remake of Oblivion could be revealed next month, according to leaker Xtassels, or Xtasis maybe. Not only is the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion remake real, but Xbox could announce the game at an Xbox Direct event in January. I've also heard rumblings that there's going to be something in January for Xbox. Not a crazy thing to hear. It makes sense. They've done it before and they have a lot of stuff to talk about. So I think it's reasonable. The people I heard it from that this would be happening in January are sort of tangentially related. They're not directly within Xbox. So I'm taking it more with a grain of salt. But the fact that other leakers and other sources are reporting that something could happen in January makes me feel much more confident that it's actually going to happen. I would guess maybe like mid to late January is when I would expect to see it, but time will tell. Not only could it be announced next month, but the game could be releasing sometime in 2025. Per previous rumors, the remake is being developed by Virtuos and is being built in Unreal Engine 5. Those rumors also hinted at a 2025 release date for the game. What would be crazy though is like, if this remake ends up being really good, like you could get into a position where the remake of Oblivion actually looks and runs better than anything Bethesda's put out in the last decade, which would be really, really funny. Game development. You can see they've worked on a lot of stuff. Co-development, advanced development mode with both efficiency and high quality, comprehensive coverage of all development requirements, bringing additional value and flavor to the game. Outer Worlds, Marvel's Avengers, Call of Duty, Grounded, Destroy All Humans, Fallen Order. Like these are one of those contract teams that you hire to help you, but they don't really do their own big thing. They're just one of these like contractors you can hire. I mean, they've worked on a lot of different stuff. Horizon Zero Dawn, bringing it to PC. So they've done other ports and stuff. A full remake is not an easy thing to do, but it seems like they've at least worked on a ton of different stuff. So we'll see if that ends up being true. But now there's multiple different sources that are reporting this is going to happen, which is interesting because typically they don't just tend to make it up out of whole cloth. If you recall, the first word of a remake or remaster of the game came during the FTC's investigation into Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard. At the time, the documents revealed the game was expected to launch during fiscal year 2022, but that obviously never came to be. Since then, nothing has been said publicly by Microsoft or Bethesda on its status. As with every rumor, please take information with a grain of salt, blah, blah, blah. That at least suggests that it was relatively far along years ago, and if it's still being worked on, then the hope is it's just continued to get polished and refined as time has gone by. But we will see if it, like how it actually turns out. I would be interested. I do think Oblivion is one of those games that has struggled to maintain like interest in the modern day. It just hasn't aged the best. That's the like a big part of it. So a remake could be really, really good for it. But what I'd be interested in is like a lot of the big selling points of that game back in the day. And you can watch the making of Oblivion documentary thing that they did because they filmed the reactions at E3 at the time. Back at the time, like the AI, the Radiant AI was one of the big selling points. And then also like the graphical fidelity with forests and stuff like that was a big selling point. So I'm interested if they can actually provide something that is graphically really stunning and it retains that gameplay and stuff that people loved about Oblivion back in the day. But there's so many cascading things you got to consider because combat in Elder Scrolls games has historically not been very good at all. The AI was a big selling point. It ended up being kind of the Kickstarter of Todd's Sweet Little Lies debacle that's carried on for decades at this point because he made all these promises about hyper intelligent AI and NPCs that understand what's going on in the world around them and all that. And it ended up mostly just being marketing garbage. But maybe this is where we're actually going to see it implemented really well. Who knows? Never trust Bethesda. That's the thing though, is this isn't Bethesda. This is apparently this Virtuos team who is mainly a support studio, but maybe they do a really good job with it. My feeling though is that this is not going to be a Demon's Souls remake. I don't think this is going to be like a reinvention that blows everybody away. I hope it is. But based on what we've seen from other remakes, remasters, relaunches and stuff from ZeniMax, typically it is much lower effort than that. And it's more of a glow up than it is a reworking entirely. But again, I would love for that to not be the case. I would love for them to kind of rework a lot of the stuff that hasn't aged well. But if it is actually in Unreal Engine 5, I think they would have to rebuild pretty much everything. Like it would be one thing if they were saying that it was being built in the Creation Engine 2 and it's just gonna be like reworked, but with Starfield's graphics, and like, okay, you know, that should be easy enough to pull off. But it sounds like they're just rebuilding it from the ground up, which would be very interesting. Virtuos is working on Cyberpunk now. They know their shit, really. I mean, they've worked on a lot of big AAA stuff. So they've been entrusted with many things. They worked on movies as well. Yeah, they do assets and stuff for movies. Dude, what a crazy company. They just do a little bit of everything. They did stuff for Mandalorian. What a crazy company, dude. Characters, vehicles, and props. Wow. So, I mean, they are extremely versatile in what they do, but it's pretty crazy. Huh.